Hello, everyone. Informal conversation with professionals from all walks of life. As you know, we completed our school and college education and professional studies. And now we are working in different career field. During our professional life, we have seen, we have heard, we experienced so many things. And there are some very important lessons we learned from our professional life. And sometimes we thought to ourselves, it would have been nice if we could share some of the lessons that we learned from our professional life to the next generation, so they can build and refine their career field, and they can also prosper. So with that, we have a video series in which professionals from different fields share their lessons that they learned. So today we have Mr. Jay Skaria joined with us. Jay is an expert, experienced civil engineer. So welcome, Jay, to this segment.
Hi, Shaji. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jace. First of all, Jace, let me ask you, could you just tell us in high level and brief your education, where you studied, and all those things?
So I was born and brought up in Philadelphia. I went to public school, elementary, middle school, high school, all in Philadelphia. I got my civil engineering bachelor's degree at Drexel University. I graduated in 2011. And then I started working right away, right after graduation. And then a few years later, I got my master's degree from NJIT in 2015.
Oh, okay.
That's where I did a concentration of structural engineering and construction specialty.
Oh, okay. So, Jace, where you are, where are you working now? And
so right now I work for the government. So I work for the building department for Philadelphia. So I'm one of the engineering services supervisors, and I've been working there for almost 12 years. So right after graduation, I started there as a graduate civil engineer, and I kind of worked my way up as the years went on, and I've got to this position probably close to 3 years ago. So I have a team of 28 engineers under me.
Oh, okay. And the main in the civil engineering, which core area you are working in?
So what we deal with is just the construction aspect of things.
Okay.
So what we review building, mechanical, and fire suppression design for all the buildings in Philadelphia, except for state-run buildings. But we work with residential to commercial and industrial buildings. So we deal from your regular single-family dwellings up in the suburbs in Philadelphia, all the way to the high rises in the commercial center city district. So we deal with different types of things all over the year. So that's the best thing about the job, where you see a different variety of designs throughout the years. And you see how construction has adapted to all the things that are going on over the years as well.
Okay, that's good. Very interesting, Jace. Jace, would you tell us, some of the work style and the job attributes which helped you to, prosper in your field?
So, it's pretty interesting. When I started with the department, I got hired with 12 to 13 other engineers. So if you think about it, I'm competing with 13 other engineers to try to get to the top in that sense. And we're in a scenario where, we're given the same workload, we're given the same projects and things like that. And to get recognition, you have to kind of volunteer for projects that no one else really wants to do. When I was at Drexel, I had 3 internships, all with transportation. And, I had to make a huge shift to construction because I didn't really have too much expertise in it. But the main thing was just hard work and just volunteer for things that kind of get you out of your comfort zone. So, in college, I'll be okay with presentations, but I wasn't the best at them. And, my senior seminar person was saying, hey, if you're not comfortable with presenting projects or anything like that, get comfortable, because that's what people look for when you get into the workforce. So I would be the person to volunteer to go out to neighborhood organizations if they have questions on building practices, things that are happening in their neighborhood. And it is a little tough because you have to go outside your work hours to kind of compete those deal with those different things that you have to do to kind of get on top. I had to work past your regular working days just to make sure you get more work done. So you kind of have to compete with, unfortunately, you have to compete with your peers, but
Right.
overall you have to be respectful too. You have to be a hard worker, but you have to be respectful at all times and being professional. That's like the main thing. And I feel like having a strong work ethic is the key to kind of getting to the top if you can. But overall, I would say as long as you work hard in whatever you do, I think you kind of get to that point.
Wow, so that's yeah, great point, Jace. Work ethic, work hard, and get out from the comfort zone. Communication skill, yes,
The
those are.
communication skills are the key thing, because in my field, I deal with a variety of professionals. So I deal with other professional engineers, lawyers, just regular homeowners, and daycare operators. So people that are not familiar with the whole construction aspect of things, you kind of have to explain everything into layman's terms. But then when you go to a design professional that knows everything, they're not going to respond well to a person that's only been in the industry for 1 or 2 years. So you have to make sure that you kind of educate yourself to a point where you can be on terms with them. That's the only way they're going to respect you, unfortunately. So being that person to be open to communication is very key to kind of progress in this field, I would say.
Okay, that's good. So lastly, can you share to the audience some of the lessons? I know you have so many years in this field, some of the lessons that you learned, if you can share to the audience.
Yeah, sure. What I like to tell everyone is that everyone has a different path. So all the people that you graduate with, they might get a job right away and they might go to the next job within a year or two because they're not a big fan of their work practices. Some people like to not even go into the workforce. They want to get their master's degree. Some people like to just do that right away. In my specific opinion, my route, I wanted to get my bachelor's degree right away. And at Drexel, we had 3 internships. So instead of a 4-year degree, it was a 5-year degree. But those 3 internships were 6 months apiece. And that was stuff that I got to put on my resume. So I always tell young graduates that are coming in, it's always important to have an internship because that sets you apart from all the people that you're trying to compete with in getting a job. And Drexel is pretty famous to known for their co-ops. So, you basically get a job right out of college. But right now I'm trying to recruit 6 engineers, and it's kind of hard when I obviously pick from the pool that has previous experience. It doesn't have to be in my specific discipline, but I know that, hey, you're working towards you're professional for 6 months for legit construction company or any company as is, and that is like the most important thing I like to tell people. A lot of people have to take their summers off during school year, like during college especially, but those 3 months, if you're not taking classes, even if you take 1 class or 2 class, like you just volunteering your experience at a major firm, like of your specific discipline, goes way beyond what you have any idea that it goes. So to give you an example, if you worked at a transportation firm and you're going for transportation specialty, you never know, when you volunteer at that place and they realize how good you are as a person, as an employee, they might hire you right when you graduate. I got 2 offers right when I graduated, but then I decided to go public sector just because of all the experience I was going to get based on that. When I graduated in 2011, there was a financial hit with the job market. So we went public sector, Then as the years went on, our salaries just kept increasing as the years went on. So, and with all the different professionals I deal with on a daily basis, I just got communication, and the networking is out of this world, to be honest with you. So I deal with all the design professionals, all in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and a lot of people in offices in New York as well. So I like to tell people, hey, you can get your master's degree later on, but sometimes it might be easier to do it within a year or 2 after you graduate so that you can keep going. But what I'm trying to get at is everyone has a different path, and when you get your bachelor's degree, it might be good to take a year or 2 off and have your company pay for your master's degree. And that's what mine did. because everyone has loans going through school.
Right.
And having your master's degree paid off by your company and staying there for another 2 years, I think that's definitely worth it. Another thing I would say is just to never stop learning. That's
Okay.
the main thing. For my specific field, I had to get certifications. So the months and years went on, I had to get different certifications. But the thing is, those specific certifications are only for my specific discipline in civil engineering. Like, you never know what's going to happen down the line. 20 years from now, if I go into a different type of a discipline,
Right.
I need different certifications. And it's best to have all your certifications at the beginning of the year. And what I mean by that is getting your EIT during your school years. That's your in training license. And then after that, after 5 years, you go for your PE. Right now, I'm going for my PE right now. It's a
Okay.
little. I didn't need it for my job specifically. I needed International Code Council certification. So I wish I did the PE a little earlier in my career, because honestly, as the years go on, your life gets busier, it gets more hectic. So
Yeah.
I think when you do that in your 20s, it's better for you.
Yes.
But overall, I think that's the main thing. Like, you have to keep learning, because the whole work environment is always adapting. For me, when I started at my job, everything was paper. I would get building
Right.
plans and actual construction plans, and I would have to mark them up and write comment letters on, hey, what didn't work out in their specific plan review. But now, as the years went on, you had to be more tech savvy, because now everything's online. All the
Right.
building plans online. I make all the markings all electronically. And that's the biggest thing. You always got to keep learning and always adapt to your different situation, because anything can change at a moment's notice. So even with this COVID pandemic, everything turned electronic.
Right.
So you not being able to talk to someone face to face now, say for example, for this scenario, you're talking through Zoom. You have to always learn how to adapt to different situations. And I think that's the key to success, to be honest with you. Everything is, in my job, everything is a huge learning curve.
Right.
You might not have learned everything in school, but you're going to learn it during the job. And as the years go on, as long as you keep learning, you're going to stay ahead. And then I think you'll be comfortable. The other main thing I like to give as a lesson is never stay comfortable at your job, in the sense that never sit down and just say, hey, this is comfortable. I don't need to do much. Let me just do what I need to do.
Right.
I think your 20s and 30s and 40s they're so important, that you have to keep going for your career, because you never know when things are going to change. If there are layoffs coming on, or things like that, you have to separate yourself from the flock, just to see, hey, you're valuable to the team. And that's a key thing. Different, I think also being networking is a huge thing. You could be really good at your job, but you also have to be able to get along with everyone. All throughout your career, you're gonna be dealing with really difficult people. And instead of just yelling back at them, you got to start realizing, hey, this is how they are as a person. You have to kind of shift your discipline, or the way that you communicate with them, so that you're not rude to them, because you never know what could happen down the line. You never burn bridges. That's the main thing. It never happened to me personally, but I've seen coworkers go through that, and that was a big learning curve for me. So just the idea of always be respectful and professional to everyone, because you never know what's going to happen down the line when it comes down to it.
Right. That's good.
Other than that, like I said, everyone has a different path. That's the key thing. I can't really tell you that much more, because it all depends on your different disciplines too.
That's good. So thank you. There's a lot of great points, Jace. Thank you very much for sharing this valuable information. So let us stop here by hoping that the information that which you shared is going to help the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.